Welcome back to the Video Game Vibes podcast. I am your boy Grog, or Super Potion. I am here with my boy PatriotJax. Jax, say hello.
Hello, how are we doing, everyone? And if you're just wondering why either one of us is always like laughing or like got a big grin on their face as we're bringing in the intro, it's because the first intro was a flop, and I was still laughing from your previous one. But anyway, it's very good to see you, dude. It's very good to see you. I've had a long day today. Like, it's been a really good day, like family day out and stuff. We had taken the baby out for like his first big day out. So that was fun.
First day out, like, on the town.
Proper big day out, yeah, to like a national trust, and that was good. Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, and I'm tired as hell. And this is actually the part of my day where I would normally take a nap. So I sacrifice my nap
that's fair. You're
for the pod,
now,
man.
So
that's how much I care about the pod.
Oh my gosh. So, what'd you do out with the baby? Did they bring him on like a merry-go-round? Or, I don't know, that's the first thing that I think of when it's baby's day out, is like something like that.
I mean, he's like 3 weeks old, so he still can't like hold his head up, so I don't really want to put him on like
That's true. Yeah, that was stupid of me to say.
It's kind of like a big walk, and, we had a picnic and stuff. Yeah, it was really nice. Other family members got to cuddle and stuff like that. It was just lovely. No, it was really nice. Being a dad is cool and weird, and you don't get a lot of sleep, but it's great, honestly.
But think about later when, that not sleep applies to when your kid's growing up, and then there's a slight transition between, like, can I stay up later and play video games now because I'm just not used to having as much sleep? Have you thought about the positive that way? Maybe?
I mean, I guess, if you think about it like 20 years ago, like, kids would have moved out from their mum and dad's like in their late teens, or when they go off to university or college or whatever. Now, kids are more likely to still live with their parents into like their early 30s and stuff, because it's so hard to like buy a house and stuff like that. So I don't know when the point is when I'll be able to, once they're gone, I can then get back into, like, I don't think it will ever be the same. And I think by that point, when I'm in my 50s or something crazy like that, I don't know what, maybe I'll end up regressing into my early PC years, and I'll be like a strategy streamer or something, playing RTS games like Warcraft and stuff.
You're just gonna straight up change genres of gameplay.
I don't know if I could do indie horror at that age. Give myself a heart attack.
My heart. I need to complain really quick.
Ooh.
Jax, do you have, I don't know your complete living situation, do you have a yard that you mow and stuff?
Yeah, we've got sort of 2 gardens. Don't make it sound like that's like I'm flexing. Like, it's like they're 2 very small gardens, but yeah, we have lawns at the front and back, and yeah. Oh,
then I have 2 gardens as well.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I don't know about you, but before my current house, which I now have lived in for like 3 years or something, like I was before pre-pandemic is when I moved in this house, which is fantastic for me. But before that, I lived in a townhouse, and basically someone mowed my lawn for me, so I didn't have to do anything outside, which was great. And I love my house very dearly here. But I have had such troubles with mowing the lawn. And it's such a stupid complaint, too. So when I moved here, we bought our house from, like, this older lady. She was, like, basically 70 or something like that. And she was going to move down to Florida to retire. So that's why she was selling her house. And so it was weird because when we were walking through the house, she was like pointing out stuff like, do you want to keep this? Do you want to keep this? And like she offered it for us to like just keep her lawnmower. She'll like, give me another $200 and you can keep my lawnmower.
Okay.
And at the time I'm like, yeah, why not? I don't know anything about the lawnmower. I don't have to research it. She said she barely used it and it looked fine. And I was like, great, fantastic. Anyway, to the point, I used that and it sucked. It was so bad. It was such a terrible lawnmower. Eventually, it had this thing on the side that, you know, you can adjust the wheels, right? Like, if you want to cut, like, grass like more shallower or like whatever, depending. And that thing would like get undone. So like I would be mowing and I'd do 2 steps and then it would drop and it would go the lowest way down. So it would just like kill my grass because it's cutting all the way into the dirt.
Okay, I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say, like, my mower, we've had it for a few years. It's plastic. It's a piece of crap, and the wheels tend to fall off. So, like, I feel the struggles with it, but I'm not the gardener. My wife tends to handle it. While she was pregnant, I was doing a lot of it, and I can't stand it personally. But you know,
really,
that's her thing. I would suggest maybe, you know, they have like Roombas, but for grass, like for gardens now. You should just save up your money, try and invest in one of them.
The first time I've seen those. Okay, the first time I ever saw one of those, I was actually on vacation in Edinburgh, in Scotland, and I was just walking, and I saw one on the hill. Like, it was just like this really nice hill, and like I was just like looking. I'm like, is that a freaking Roomba that's cutting the grass right? Why is that robot cutting the grass? I wish.
Yeah.
But I have a better mower now, so I was very excited because I bought a better mower like a few months ago, and it's electric, so I don't have to deal with gasoline, which is fantastic.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, in the States you have like gas-powered ones, like petrol-powered
You have an electric one?
Yeah. We have like, yeah, and I just have a cable that runs through our window, and you know,
you have a cable? Oh,
yeah.
You have a straight up. Okay,
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's not
So
like battery. It's it's like a long.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of a pain because obviously you run over the cable with it. You know, that's the lawnmower done.
Yeah, no, that sounds awful. That sounds like a vacuum, but way worse because you could actually just destroy the mower.
It's a bit of a pain, but it's still better than like those manual ones that have the blades. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
I couldn't do that either. But I have a battery one now, and I was
Okay.
so psyched because I was like, it's so good. It's gonna be so good. It's amazing, and it's good. But for some reason, like my battery dies after 30 minutes. It can get overheated, and then it just stops working. And it's at the like least opportune time. So I'll be like mowing the lawn, and I'm like, oh come on, please don't overheat right now. And I was mowing it yesterday, and I got the whole front yard done. And at this point in time, I'm like, I can't do the front and backyard on this battery.
Charge it up.
It's gonna overheat. I don't have enough time to do it. It's not gonna work. So I'm like, if I could just get the front yard done, so my neighbors don't think I'm ridiculous, that would be fantastic. And I almost got the front yard done, and I was like pushing. And I like pushed like one line and then it just stopped completely. And so I have this goofy like one line, like one single line of like tall grass still that I'm like, oh my gosh, my neighbors probably think I'm so ridiculous that they were like, did he get bored? Just stop mowing? And right there he had like 2 seconds left and then he was going to be done. And then it started raining and I was like, well, no, I can't even do it anyway if the battery gets better in an hour. Yeah, so anyway, that's my adult complaint for today, Jack.
I was just going to say, before we get into too much, we should probably say that this particular pod is slightly different from the normal ones that we're doing. It's more of a, what did we call, did we come up with a name for these
Our
sort of...
experimental name, as of right now, may or may not change, because, you know, we're chill like that, is Vibin Out. So essentially Vibin Out, our concept was that we were just going to talk a little bit more, and instead of focusing on one, pinnacle theory, like how our stealth game's dead, like we did in a previous episode, or one individual game, like Sonic, we are going to focus on multiple topics, and just vibing out. We're just going to chill, and it's sort of news, sort of chill talk. We do have some I have notes, everyone, okay? I have lots of notes.
In the one where it's more organic and you're vibing out, you've got loads more notes than the normal ones.
It's very ironic, I know. Yeah,
but yeah, we mostly
has way more notes.
I was just going to say, we mostly just talk about lawnmowers, to be perfectly honest. That's sort of what we're going for, in household, chores and stuff like that. But before we actually move on, I just want to say, I love your pineapple vest.
Thank you. Let me stand up really quick for it. I know that
for the YouTube people.
Yeah, for the YouTube people. Thank you. Yeah, I thought it's cool.
I'm freaking jealous.
It's got a little pocket. I've never put anything in here, but I have the option. Thank you. I appreciate that.
No worries.
Yeah. That's a taste for those video viewers. YouTube, guys, YouTube.
Yeah, it was yesterday. It was the Splatoon 3. It was like the beta demo Splatfest, which is a really good idea, actually. So it sort of announces Splatoon 3 with like a demo of a Splatfest that everyone can play for free on the Switch before the game actually releases in September, which I think is really cool because you get to play. It was like from 9 until 9 on yesterday on Saturday.
So it was time.
Yeah. So you jump in, you pick. I think this time it was like rock, paper, or scissors, and I was Team Rock. Don't actually remember who won the Splatfest, funny enough, because I was going through the news thing later on in the day and I accidentally skipped it. So I'm pretty sure it's Rock, and I'll edit this to say who it was, but I'm pretty sure it's Team Rock. I want to say it's Team Rock, my team. But
just for people that don't know, hold up. So like, is it like everyone that entered the demo? It was like a combined scoreboard of like rock, paper, scissors or whatever.
Yeah, so you go into, there's two different game modes. There's like normal turf war, and then there was like these tri-coloured battles where 3 different teams competed on one map, which is like a new sort of a new mode for Splatoon, which I think was really cool. To me, it basically just seemed like more of Splatoon 2. Like, it was very much, we know the game's good, we're going to add stuff to it, we're not going to take away a lot, but it's in a good way. Like, it's not sort of stale. It's not like, you know, a new COD comes out every year. It's not like that. Obviously, Splatoon 2 came out like 5 years ago, maybe? I don't know, maybe longer. 5? Okay. It was a long time ago. But it's it's just, it's more of good Splatoon fun. So if you played Splatoon 2, you will like Splatoon 3. They had a few new weapons you could try out. And I was really disappointed because I loved, in the trailers, the look of I think it was called the Stringer. It's like the bow, essentially.
Stringer?
It's like a 3-shot, like, bow. And I was really looking forward to it just because I like a bow in a game anyway. But it basically plays like a sniper rifle, and sniping sniping in Splatoon, I can't do it. Like, I just can't get down with it. So unfortunately, I was like, I'm sacking that off. I'm going back to my standard Splattershot Junior, which I get like 1,300 points a match on, which I'm happy with. So I'll stick with that. But
was there not a sniper rifle in the game before?
Yeah. They had there was loads of different types of snipers, but the new weapon, the bow, to me it felt like you were just using a sniper rifle because it was like a charge shot, and obviously it had really good range, but like obviously close quarters, and I didn't think the damage was good enough and stuff like that. Like, they also had this thing, they called it a splatana. It's kind of like like a katana, and that was a lot better actually. But it looked kind of like a windshield wiper, which is kind of funny.
Oh my!
Like on a car, it was There's some nice additions. They've got a proper story this time, and the other thing, obviously, that came out of the end of Splatoon 2 was the final Splatfest was going to directly impact what Splatoon 3 was. So the final Splatfest for Splatoon 2 was Team Chaos or Team Order, and Team Chaos won the Splatfest. So that kind of directed the sort of the look of Splatoon 3. So a lot of the maps and stuff are very rustic and rundown and chaotic and stuff like that, compared to what I guess would have been more sort of like a futuristic-y sort of look if it was if Order won the Splatfest.
Yeah, that is such a good idea. So do you think they didn't even start developing it yet until that event was done for Splatoon 2?
Probably I think, as I say, the game itself's quite similar, like in its gameplay and stuff like that anyway, but the theme,
assets and stuff like that,
the theme probably not, no. Or at least like the maps and the style, if you like, of the area. It's all very sort of like, I don't want to say like Mad Max, like it gives me like that sort of vibe, like deserty, and and that's all come out of like the chaos, the team. I was Team Chaos, everyone was Team Chaos, to be fair. Everyone wanted chaos, so that's what we got. And I think it's cool that they did that. But yeah, no, it was good fun. It was good to play with some people, and obviously a lot of people who never played it before got to download the demo for free and get involved in the Splatfest, which is really cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm not a big Splatoon person myself, but I have seen it on your channel and a couple other people's channels, and it seems very fast-paced and fun. So I'm glad that Splatoon is, getting some more love. That's great to hear.
It's a great game.
But want to see this transition? Switching over, because of the Switch, do you get it? To another Switch game that...
I would say cut that, but we're already in it, so...
No, listen, this is a dad podcast, obviously.
Dadcast.
Dad-focused podcast. I would like to talk about another Switch game that has not come out yet, which, of course, I have... It's right there if you see it in the video. Oh, boom. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I don't think we've talked about it at all on the podcast yet.
No.
Unless we did and I forgot, but I don't care. We're going to go more in depth because there's been another couple trailers. I think so far there's been 3-ish trailers. There was an original one, then a second one, and then there was a battle-focused one, I believe. And I would very much just like to talk about it for a little bit. Jax, you've seen all the trailers for it, right?
I've seen a couple. I did just watch I don't think it was the battle one. It was like the main one. It was like 6 minutes long, and it kind of broke down sort of all the new things of the Paldea region.
Yeah.
And essentially it's sort of the next one on from Sword and Shield, right? It's that continuation. But it's obviously sprinkled in stuff from Legends Arceus, I presume.
Yeah, it looks very similar to Legends Arceus, but it's definitely different. You know how in Legends, you could stealth and essentially sneak up on Pokemon and throw Pokeballs and stuff? One of the big things is I don't think you can do that. It looks like you can't do that anymore. Not 100% confirmed, but we're pretty sure. So there's no more throwing a Pokeball and then just running away sort of thing, which I enjoyed, but I understand that that wouldn't be in a main storyline game. However, it is very overworld based, looks gorgeous. So far the graphics, they have this not weird, but like more detailed shading going on with the Pokemon. So they look way better than even Arceus did before, which very excited about.
Yeah, I thought Arceus looked really good. Like, I do still want to get round to it because I never got it.
You didn't?
No. See, I got Sword and Shield was the first Pokemon game I bought like in a long time.
Right,
and,
we talked about this. I forgot.
And I do want to get Arceus at some point because it's that different style that's definitely worth playing, I think. But maybe this one, then this next one, it kind of incorporates sort of both elements of Arceus and sort of the mainline game. Would you say?
Yes, it definitely does. It definitely took some of the assets and inspiration from Arceus, but this by itself, it's going to be completely different. If you get the chance, I highly recommend going back to Arceus. I almost skipped Arceus because I was like, oh, it's a side game. I don't need it. But then I saw the hype for it, and I saw what you could actually do with it. And Arceus is insane. But we're not talking about Arceus. We'll talk about that another time. Jax, let's get this out of the way really quick. Did you see the starter Pokemon for Scarlet and Violet, and which one would you pick? There is... Hold on, I'll refresh your memory.
Yeah, please do. Because I remember the duck. The duck with like a quiff.
Yes. Quaxley is the water type with a little quiff thing. Rumor has it he might be a pirate. We don't know. There's Fue Coco, who is a lovable red little alligator dragon thing, which is the fire type, and Sprigatito.
Let me just look him up. Let me type. Yes, I'll look him up. That's it. Oh, okay, yeah.
Do you have a preference, Quaxley?
Well, no, I was going to say that the grass type looks like a cat, so I think I'm already. Which one was that? The grass type.
Oh, right. Yeah, I suppose you are cat very focused.
I mean that guy on the grass type. That fire type, I'm guessing, he looks kind of stupid. I don't know. But let's face it, everyone wants Lechonk as their star, don't they?
Yes, let's face it. Lechonk is everyone's favorite Pokemon. Lechonk is actually my background on my phone right now. You can't really Yeah, there we go. It's back on.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, see it real quick.
Are
Yeah.
you just gonna get rid of? Are you gonna start with Few Coco and then just drop him, like just release him and have Lechonk as your starter?
Well, straight up, yeah. My choice is Fue Coco. And it depends if he looks dumb. I'll probably keep him. I don't know. I think he's adorable. Someone said maybe he'll turn into a ghost pepper. Because, by the way, this is supposedly in Spain. Is the region
okay.
That's what it's based off of, is in Spain.
Yeah.
There's lots of references to like olives and like wines and all this food stuff that Spain has.
Okay.
Like there's a new olive Pokemon. Do you see the new olive Pokemon, Smoliv?
Oh my god.
He's just a small olive and he has anxiety. It's amazing.
Olive Pokemon. Oh my god.
It's so cute.
Oh my god, that's. I was going to ask you this question because,
please,
like. Part of the reason, it's not part of the reason, I fell out of Pokemon a long time ago before obviously getting back in recently when I got my Switch. What do you genuinely think about the newest, like let's start with Gen 8 and I guess now some of Gen 9. What do you think about the designs? Do you think they're decent? Like, be honest with me. You can say yes, I'm just so curious.
They've had some stinkers, not gonna lie. Yeah, not all of them are winners. What I can't even think of all their names, but the ice cream cone one, Gen
there's like a
Gen
rubbish
6,
bin bag,
black and white.
There's like the trash bag or whatever. Oh.
Garbodor is a trash bag. He's literally just trash and he has macaroni for hands. They gave him a special Gigamax in Sword and Shield, which was just wild. I was like, seriously? You're gonna give that to the garbage Pokemon? Who asked for that? No one asked for that! Yeah, I don't know. So far from what I've seen here, they seem okay. They seem alright. But yeah, I agree. It's not Gen 1 stuff, but that's all we can hope for. Let me ask you, let me retort back to you. Reverse Uno you question.
Oh, damn.
What do you think about the variant forms, as in the forms of the original Pokemon that have different variants, such as in this new game, Paldean Wooper is a poison ground type.
I
believe
that.
Poison ground. Let me just double check. Poison ground. Yes, I am correct. He gets water absorb, brah. So he can't get hurt by water, and he's a ground type. He's got little crossbones. He looks pretty sweet. Do you think they're dumb or not? Just in general, the variant forms.
When they first introduced him, I was a bit like, really? Is that not a bit lazy? But when you think about Pokemon and the lore and stuff like that, it tries to mimic animals in real life, and there are variants of animals in different countries and stuff. You get different lions in different countries, different cheetahs, you get different leopards, you get snow leopards in some places, and you get like non-snow leopards, normal leopards in another, Yeah. So like it mimics real life, and you can't fault them for adding them in, like just in terms of like how they look and stuff. And I'm like, okay, but it doesn't excite me. It doesn't excite me, but I respect the like why they do it. I respect the lore and stuff like that. But yeah, he's okay. So he's Wooper, but he's just brown, and he's a different type. Okay, great. Yeah. Do I want to capture Wooper? I didn't want to capture him when he was a water type. I'm not going to capture him now.
You are correct. The internet, by the way, if you hadn't noticed, is calling him Pooper Wooper.
Oh, nice.
He's brown or Pooper, which is to be expected. But he's so cute.
You think? I don't know. I mean,
I agree with your sentiment about the regional variants. So I think they're cool. Not all of them are great designs, but the aspect or the point of why they're doing it makes sense.
Like I was just going to say quickly, they like I can't crap on their designs too much because Pokemon's been running for so many years.
Yeah.
And they tend to, for a lot of Pokemon, they'll take inspiration again from real life animals and real life things. There will become a certain point where they won't have that same level of inspiration, so the designs become a bit more, I don't know, lame. For lack of a better word.
Lackluster.
Yeah.
Fair point. Yeah. I know, it's hard to come up with monsters continually when you have that many. When I was a little... Did I ever tell you when I was a little kid, I was so into Pokemon that me and my little group of friends, little children, we would buy index cards, and then we'd create our own Pokemon cards.
Cool.
We didn't call them Pokemon, but we called them, like, our own... I don't know, we'd probably call them monster cards. I don't remember. Anyway... We would just make our own cards, and every single person would make their own cards. And we all had we all agreed you can't make a card that's 10,000 attack or whatever. If someone did that, we'd call them out immediately and be like, "You suck," or whatever. But,
damn, man, childhood is harsh.
Childhood's harsh. But no, you just remind me because I was just flushing them out. I had a deck I probably used my whole deck that was this big, which is ridiculous because in card games you want a smaller deck.
So wait, did you draw them and design the actual look of them? Oh, nice, man.
With colored so I would draw them and then maybe it depends what it was. Sometimes I would just straight up draw it on the index card. Other times I draw it in a notebook and then draw it on the index card and stuff like that. But it would be you draw it and then you color it with colored pencil and stuff, and then on the back it has attack and defense, and then also just a description of it and stuff like that.
Okay.
But anyway, it was hard to come up with monsters after a while, so I feel Pokemon's pain.
You can relate. Just real quick, because at least for me and everyone that I knew who collected Pokemon cards when they were young, did you ever actually battle them? Because we never did that. We never thought of them as playing the actual Pokemon trading card game. Everyone just collected them. And I got ripped off. I gave someone a Machamp, and I got an energy card and a Ghastly and something else in return. I was new to my school, and I was trying to make friends, so I let them have my Machamp.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
I was a doormat.
That's terrible. But no, I agree with you. For the most part, I think one of my friends knew how to play the card game, and he taught me once, and then I just didn't want to do it afterwards. I was like, no, I'd rather just collect the cards and look at them, and they're nice. Or it was too complicated for me. That's why I said when I made my own card game, it was just attack and defense, Yu-Gi-Oh! Attack defense. That's it.
Yeah, the energy cards.
Maybe it could have an effect.
The energy cards just made it, I think, a bit too much, and that's when everyone started to like Yu-Gi-Oh! And everyone actually battled with Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. That was good fun.
Because it's simpler.
It is, it is.
Pokemon was trying to make it like Magic the Gathering, where they had energy cards, and then there's also a bench. You have your hand, you put a Pokemon card on the bench, and then from your bench you play it in the actual field. It's really dumb.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't
At
sound.
least that was when I played it, so the rules have definitely changed.
I'm sure it's evolved now. Maybe for a live stream we should play the online version of the Pokemon trading card game.
That would be amazing. Oh my gosh. My brother actually went to a website. There is a free website where you can play it.
I'm sure there is, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a free website for everything.
One last thing that I want to end with on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which people would yell at me if I didn't bring up. I don't care about Legendaries. We're not talking about that. I want to bring up the gimmick of this game. Did you see?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the word. It's not like crystallizing.
Okay.
It's
terrestrializing.
Terrestrializing.
I copy pasted that. So that's essentially. For those of you who did not see the trailer,
terrestrialize, yeah.
It makes you, and I quote, makes Pokemon shine and glimmer like gems, similar to a Super Saiyan-esque aura, but shiny and pretty around your Pokemon, essentially. Jax, hold on, let me finish describing this, and then I'm going to ask you your opinions on it. So it's sort of similar, you know how in the last game, Sword and Shield, you could Dynamax and your Pokemon, got big and stronger and all that stuff. Terrestrializing is a terrible name.
The word is awful. I get what they were trying to do, but it's just bad. Yeah, carry on.
I'm just gonna call it Terra, because they do say your Pokemon changes type to its Terra type. So essentially, each Pokemon, and it's not like Pikachu is Terra type. It's like they can all have different Terra types, each individual Pokemon. So you can find a Pikachu that has a Terra type of flying and another Pikachu that's a Terra type of water or something like that, which is crazy. But essentially, when they Terra, then they change to their Terra type, which is going to be huge for the competitive scene. For example, in the battle trailer that we saw, there was a Tyranitar, which is normally rock and dark type, right? And he was about to get hit by a Focus Blast or something like that, which is a fighting move, would have been 4 times. And he terra'd into a ghost type, and he just didn't take any damage because he was a ghost type now. Which is insane.
Yeah, I was just going to say, depending on how it's used, like, it certainly spices up battles.
Yeah, and that's a simple way of using it. Another example that they gave, and this is on the website, guys, if you want to look this up yourself. There's a Colossal that had a Steam Engine ability, and its Terra type was water, and then the Pokemon essentially just takes less damage and gets a speed boost because it's a water type, I guess. So they can stack with their ability that they already have, which is really interesting. I don't know physically if I like the look of this. In my opinion, I think it looks dumb. But I think it'd still be fun. I don't know, Jax, what do you think?
Well, okay, I kind of like the look of it. But
really?
Just to confirm, this is not like... Because that's the other issue I've sort of had with Pokemon over the years. They went with Mega Evolves and then Dynamaxing and stuff. Like, just have one thing and build on it. But, okay, so Dynamaxing was the last sort of big thing, right? This isn't something that replaces that in any... So there'll be... am I right in saying that there'll be Dynamaxing in this as well?
No, there won't. This is yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right. So you're new. I forgot. Jax, things they've been doing with these last few games is they have a gimmick for each game. So Dynamaxing is specific to the region.
Oh, right.
This region's gimmick is
this
terrestrializing.
So that's how they can logic it.
Thing.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So actually, it's a clever way for them to go, right, did this go down well? Okay, well, we'll make a region where that happens here as well. And then if he doesn't like it, that's the only region that thing people didn't like is there. I don't know. With this terrestrializing...
Yeah.
I like the look of it. I actually think they look kind of cool. And like you say, I think it will spice up like battles and stuff because... Pokemon's been going on for so long now. Trying to find ways to change up battles is not easy. So I think this is actually probably something that could be a lot of fun. Beyond that, like you say, it's a gimmick. I think it looks good and it could spice up battles. I don't think it's anything to sort of write home about.
It's a gimmick, and I get it. You are exactly right. It's very hard to come up with new things in Pokemon nowadays, so I don't blame them for this. I'm not saying I'm not hating on this at all, okay? I think it could be very cool.
You are allowed to hate, though, if you want to.
Yeah, I'm allowed to hate. I want to be able to hate, yeah. I will say I will hate it if I hate something, but no, I don't hate this. It's just like I feel conflicted. For one, I don't like the physical part of it. For two, I'm scared of the game. Jax, have you done a randomizer in Pokemon before?
Well, I guess technically I've still got a Let's Play on my channel of
you do,
a Fire Red. Well, it's a randomizer Nuzlocke as well, so it's very spicy.
Yeah, so essentially I feel like this brings another random aspect in the Pokemon challenge, because like I guess maybe we need more information in regards to who can Terra and like when can wild Pokemon Terra. Probably not. I don't think so. But I know there are dens similar to the last game where they do Terra and whatnot. But it's going to bring a... How convenient.
I'm just saying that. Dens. They've returned, but they've got terrestrialized Pokemon in there.
Yeah, they have terrestrialized. It brings a random aspect of the game that I don't like. I like randomizers because it randomizes Pokemon, I don't like when Pokemon change type and it's unpredictable. I can memorize Pokemon and be like, okay, that Pokemon's that type. When it changes type and changes moves, that's when I lose it. And I'm like, okay, this is no longer skill stuff. It's more RNG related luck sometimes in certain cases. And that's what I don't like about the randomizer aspect. So I would never do a randomizer where like a Pokemon's moveset and type is mixed up. And that seems sort of like what they're going for, except not as extreme. So I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes.
It's funny you say that, because the only randomizer I've done, and I'm like halfway through it, is the Fire Red randomizer. It's on my YouTube channel, by the way. I have not got back to it yet, but it randomizes the type and the moveset, and it adds Dynamaxing into the Fire Red game as well.
Yeah, and just to clarify for you Pokemon fans, it was a Radical Red, right? Is what you're playing, which is...
I think that's what someone else said. I don't know. It's literally, like, just on this website. Like, I didn't even download anything.
Ah, okay. We'll figure it. Go check out Jax's channel, and he'll let you know.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, considering it's my first Nuzlocke as well. So I have to follow the Nuzlocke rules as well. But, I don't know. I think... You know, you can speculate on stuff, but until you've got the game and you've started terrestrializing Pokemon, you don't know. You might love it.
You're right. I am completely going to be open-minded about this. I will not go into it hating and being stubborn about how I feel. So, I'll let you. Hey, I'll keep you updated when the game comes out. By the way, for those of you wondering, it comes out on November 18th. Don't worry, I was not going to forget that. I totally wrote it down. There's a ton more that we could talk about the game, but I think maybe we should change topics. Sorry. This took a while to talk about. Jax, I believe you're going to bring up something else. What's our next topic here on Vibin?
Well, it's just something that I actually have just made loads of draft TikToks on, but I haven't been happy with them, so I haven't posted them. But it was just to talk about Resident Evil film and TV adaptations in general, because very recently the Resident Evil Netflix show, the second season has been cancelled. There will be no second season. The show itself got relatively panned by reviews. Some people liked it, some people didn't. I didn't hate it, but it's another type of Resident Evil adaptation where you could take the names out of it, and it would essentially, you could call it something else. Like, you could call it Zombie 101 or Zeros or something. Call it anything else, and you wouldn't know that it has anything to do with anything from the Resident Evil universe. And that's what annoys me about these, like, and this is the latest, the Resident Evil Netflix show. I think it could have been decent, but there
wasn't enough callback to Resident Evil. Like, there was no like little Easter eggs.
No, there are Easter eggs in there, but that's just my point. Is that you don't have a franchise and just to throw Easter eggs in there. Like, they threw in like the Moonlight Sonata piano in there, and there is a guy called Albert Wesker, but he's nothing like he is in the games. Like, there's very little. From my understanding, from what he is like in his game, for the record, I'm talking about his personality, not the fact that he's black, because a lot of people talk about how in the games he's white and then he's been cast as a black actor and people aren't happy about that. That doesn't make any difference. The actor himself is really good, but I think what he had to work with was really bad, because he was like a dad. He was like a concerned dad, and I'm like, that's not who Albert Wesker is. Now,
I was just going to say, do you think that was misdirection given by the director or from higher-ups in Netflix? Was it some weird thing where they're like, hey, we need a soft character here to balance out other characters or something dumb like that?
It was just strange, right? Because bear in mind, I'm trying to explain this, and you've not played any of the games.
I know nothing.
Yeah, okay, I've seen
a little bit of gameplay that I did not play myself.
Yeah.
I think the original one. I think I saw someone play the original one, but yeah, I don't know.
So, like, if I was to go through references, like, it would go straight over your head. So, I guess for the Resident Evil fans, like, there are certain scenes and stuff like that, like, where they thought it'd be good to include, the Albert Wesker who wears a leather jacket and has his iconic sunglasses. And they brought this guy in, and like loads of people said, it literally looked like Blade from freaking Marvel. He looked like Blade, and it didn't work. It's like, that you didn't need to include for any reason whatsoever. Like, it just made no sense. There was a stupid scene where the main villain of the show, pretty much the main villain, bursts out into like song and starts dancing and singing to like is it like a Lizzo something? Yeah, so she, like, spoilers for anyone who's actually going to watch this, who hasn't watched it. Like, she's a robot, it turns out, and someone else is controlling her and made her dance, and it was just insane. Like, I was like, is this real? Because I don't remember seeing it in the show, and then I keep seeing these TikToks. I'm like, that actually happened. Like, that was actually a scene in this show, and I'm like, considering this show was meant to be so, like, dark, and there was no comedic break in there whatsoever, yeah. To do that, it was bizarre. Like, they had some good action moments, in my opinion, but I didn't really, like, I just couldn't with it. So, and I want to get off my chest what I think they could do to make some good Resident Evil adaptations, right? They need to make themselves a Resident Evil connected universe, and what they need to focus on is the lore. There's so much Resident Evil lore, and there's so much that hasn't even been seen in the games. So for me, what they need to focus on is, Wesker's the iconic villain that everyone loves. Why don't they do an origin film about him, showing us how he became the person he was in the games? That could be really interesting. You could, I don't know. These are my ideas anyway. Let me know in the comments, and and hit me up if you like these, because I'll make a proposal to Netflix. There's so much lore that's not gone into detail, or you don't see in games or in any of the, like, they do Netflix CGI films and stuff like that. A lot of that, like, there's so much lore that isn't explored that could be really interesting, even if they're just like solo films or solo shows about one specific character. There's so much they could do, and they come out with this random Netflix show that it was just bizarre. Like, there was a second Raccoon City, and it just fell flat. I couldn't with it. I just couldn't, unfortunately.
Yeah. All I've heard about it was that it was bad, to be honest. I saw, like, a couple TikToks, and everyone's saying that, is this for real? Is this for real life? Like, I like Resident Evil. Why is this happening right now? Do we know, Jax, like, the creator of the show, were they a fan or anything? Do we know anything about that?
Not really any idea, but, like, the thing is, right, the reason why this got panned as much as it did, actually, I think, is because Netflix now have the Resident Evil franchise, right? So
they own it?
Well, they've at least got the rights to make whatever they want with the Resident Evil name. But they've got to bear in mind that we had to sit through 6 or 7 of the Anderson Resident Evil films. Again, a completely reimagined story that had very little to do with Resident Evil. It was about someone named Alice, who was a completely brand new character, wasn't in the games at all. It had Umbrella, of course, and it had a T-virus, of course, and it had other things, but that was literally it. But it would help if the films were any good. And, the Resident Evil, the second one I thought, maybe that was okay. Most of them were pretty terrible films. And then, we get the Netflix show, but we also got the more recent film, Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. Now, the funny thing about this is that I said that the Netflix show kind of, it was its own thing, and it didn't really take so much from the show, or at least in my mind, it didn't take what it should have done in the right way. The Welcome to Raccoon City film basically tried to shove the entire Resident Evil 1 to 3 games into like a 1 hour 40 film.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
How?
Well,
how could you even do such a feat?
it done it pretty terribly, to be honest. And I'll say this:
so much, yeah.
the Wesker in the Welcome to Raccoon City film was by far much worse than the one in the Netflix show, because this guy, it's again, I'm focusing on Wesker because he's such an iconic villain. But in this, he just becomes a guy who betrayed the team for like money. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, he wasn't anything like the character. And this is bearing in mind that the Welcome to Raccoon City film, I think it really tried to just make a film through those 3 games. It done some characters dirty, like Leon. They made him really stupid. I'm not sure why, because he's not
like the main boy.
He's not a stupid guy. He's just naive at that time when he's like a rookie police officer. Like he's not stupid. Like they made him like really dumb. You know,
he just doesn't know what's going on.
And the worst thing about it is they had some really good actors in this. Like they had some really good actors. I thought the guy who played Chris. You know, they had the girl from Skins, the UK Skins show, who played Claire. Really liked her. Like the actors were really good, and it could have been something really good. But again, it's like they tried to cram so much into like an hour, 40 minutes. It's like, I just think there are so many better avenues to make good Resident Evil adaptations for film and TV. And there's got to be someone, if it's at Netflix, that can do it right. But my God, they need some help. They really do.
Well,
rant over, you know.
we can only hope that with reviews and feedback from the community of Resident Evil, that they take initiative and learn from their mistakes. Hopefully, in the future, maybe we'll get a fingers crossed, better adaptation to all the characters and whatnot.
I don't know when we'll see a good show. To be honest, it makes me sad. I almost don't want to see. If there's something else gets announced, I'll just be worried that it'll be so bad. I don't know.
No, we won't get into it, but real quick, have you seen any of the really bad anime live action films on Netflix?
Oh, mate, I could talk about this for a while.
You shouldn't. Essentially, I think, and people can correct me if I'm wrong, they've made a Death Note, they've made a Full Metal Alchemist, and they are going to destroy my favorite anime, which is One Piece, was coming out really soon.
Oh no, they're doing a One Piece. Oh yes, snap. No.
Yeah, so far it hasn't been good. It's very bad, and I'm scared, and I don't want them to do my favorite anime.
I feel like that old meme's gonna come back where it's like manga, anime, Netflix adaptation.
100% it is. Yeah, I don't know. I won't get into that, but anyway, I feel your pain, at least in regards to that a little bit.
I watched the Death Note one, I think.
Did you?
I think the Death Note one was the Did you know that they're the Duffer Brothers who did Stranger Things?
Yes.
They're gonna make another Death Note live action adaptation.
No, what? Why?
Apparently so, yeah. So I think it's going to be a series. I think.
Is it after the light novel or the original series?
The original series, I think.
Oh my lord! I don't know. That could go well. It could. Duffer Brothers. We love Stranger Things. We talked about this, but I don't know, man.
I don't know. Death Note was so good.
I hate that.
At least up until I forget what his name is. The L died.
I like how for half a second you're like, should I split?
It was 2006. Come on.
Please keep this in.
100%. I'm editing it this week. Yeah.
Okay. Jax, let's switch topics here. I'm gonna get into my vehicle and switch topics. I would like to talk next a little bit about a wonderful new indie game that I played this last week for the first time Cult of the Lamb. Cult of the Lamb is amazing, guys. First off, it is fantastic. I'm only 4 hours in, so I don't know everything, but I'm really enjoying it. I streamed it on Tuesday, and it's dope. Cult of the Lamb is a roguelike action-adventure game developed by Massive Monster and published by a little-known publisher company called Devolver Digital. Maybe you've heard of them, Jax.
I have.
They did Enter the Gungeon. They are pretty solid as an indie company. This is so far a pretty good game. Just really quick, it apparently has gotten 9 out of 10 on Steam and 8 out of 10 on IGN. IGN, pretty good, 8 out of 10. It came out on August 11th, though it's only been out for a little bit now, but people are really enjoying it. I'll just talk for a little bit here about it, Jax. Did you know? Super cool. Really jealous. Okay, so we are both on YouTube. In the game, there is a Twitch integration with the game itself. So what that means is, let me back up. There is the main character is a sheep. Essentially,
not a lamb.
A lamb.
Sorry,
a little cute lamb. This game is very cutesy, by the way. This is a roguelike where you're a lamb, and you essentially do dungeon delving, and in between the dungeons, you go back to your cult, and it's sort of like Animal Crossing mixed with a roguelike dungeon game, and it's insanely cool. So, like, in between all these dungeon levels, you go back to your hometown, you say hi to all your followers, you make buildings, you feed them, you clean up their poop. Yes, they poop a lot. And it's sort of wild. But you can have followers in your cult, right? The Twitch integration is that you can basically make a follower raffle, so anyone in their Twitch chat can be like a follower name, and then their name will be above the follower in game, which I'm insanely jealous of.
That's kind of sick. Yeah,
it's crazy. It's cool. I can't believe it's integrated like that. When I was streaming, I was naming all my followers after my chat, but it just would have been cool if for YouTube I could do the same thing, where it's like so involved in the game that I don't have to manually stop it and wait 2 minutes for someone to be like, yeah, okay, I want to pick this animal and be this customization or whatever. But I thought that was awesome. I don't know, Jax, have you seen that in any other game before where they've integrated it with an actual streaming system?
Not sort of as far as I know. Like, I don't know too much about. Like, I know there's like games like, and I might be like, this might be completely different, like Jackbox Party, which a lot of people stream because like it involves the chat somehow. I've not done it myself, but is it that sort of thing? I could be completely wrong, but not many games that I'm aware that allow this sort of detailed level, because it says that it's like the followers can make things difficult for you and stuff. They can have a direct impact on, I guess, your sort of home base or whatever it is.
Yeah, I read that it was a help or hinder voting system, so essentially your chat can just be mean to you and probably ruin the game for you.
I was just thinking, I was like, I suppose you got to be a bit careful because people could just come in and like, I don't know, like raid and ruin it for you if you like. I don't know.
I would imagine those big streamers who, when their chat likes to troll them constantly, they would definitely, have some hindrance in this game. But I don't know. We'll never know because YouTube's better than Twitch. Just throwing that out there. But anyway, it's really cool, Jax, because you can get these followers. You essentially get them in the dungeon, and then you bring them back to your town. And they're just all these cute little animals. They're so adorable. I actually bought the DLC for it because there's a little narwhal in the DLC, which I thought was super cute. Jax, what's your favorite animal? And I'll tell you if it's in game.
God, penguin.
I don't think it's in game. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm not buying this game then. Does it have a cat?
There is a cat. There's
okay,
a cat.
Well,
with a cat,
maybe I could bring myself to purchase the game. I mean, don't get me wrong. It looks really good. It's that same sort of like Binding of Isaac-y
Yes.
sort of Hades sort of style of, like a roguelike sort of dungeon crawler stuff. And I got to be honest, I first heard about it on TikTok, to be fair.
Really?
And I didn't realise it had such like a massive like following or whatever. You know, a cult, if you will.
A cult following, some might say. I'll cut that out, please. But yeah, I think people just like it because it's edgy and also cute at the same time, and the gameplay's actually really cool. You can do I won't go into like a ton of details, but essentially you build up your cult. You can make beds for your followers and do buildings like one of my followers revolted against me. And he was like, "You're not the prophet I thought you were." And then he started standing in the middle of the square with a megaphone. And every day he'd be like, "Hey guys, he's a false prophet."
Did you put him to death?
I apparently you can like assassinate them in the middle of the night or something, but I think you need to research something before.
Damn, this game is in depth. Is it on the Switch? I have to get it if it's on the Switch.
It is on the Switch. Yes.
Oh, damn.
Okay. It's on every system. It's on every system.
Gonna have to get this actually, to be fair.
So, I'm still trying to learn about the game itself, but essentially you get like these faith points, where you build this building in Middletown and you can put your villagers to work, right? Your cultists to work. So you can get some of them to basically pray to the statue all day, and it gets you these prayer points, and then you can use them in a tech tree. So then you can use that to determine what you're going to build. So sort of like buying blueprints and stuff. So I haven't even done it yet, and I think the person is still revolting against me. But there is like, I can buy like, it's called a prison, but it's essentially a stockade. And I can like put them in the stockade and be like, "Okay, are you gonna be revolt against me anymore?" But I didn't get the tech for it yet, so it was days of him just yelling in the square, and I was like, "Okay, bro, that's cool, excellent." But anyway, it's really cool. It's really cute and nice, and I'm enjoying it very much.
Nice. No, it looks like a really, really cool game. It looks very much sort of up your alley, and mine, to be fair. And if it was on a Switch, when I actually have some money, maybe I'll have to pick it up after I buy Splatoon 3, of course.
Yeah, I'll next time we have a pod, I'll report back to you about my further findings on the game. But it's so fun so far.
Yeah. We're running a bit over time now, so
get over it.
There was only one more point I wanted to make before we'll do our quick vibe versus chat. And that was, I know I've mentioned it in the previous pod in the intro. Attack on Titan is so good. It's so good. And I'm still trying to convince my wife to be like, "You need to watch this, and we need to watch this. Like, just give it a chance. Please."
Yep. Non-anime watchers, I know some of you are listening and rolling your eyes.
Please don't.
I'm here to tell you, stop that. You are sleeping on the show if you haven't watched it. We're behind on the show's almost done, by the way, if anyone was confused and just doesn't watch anime. So Jax is behind himself. But that's just how good it is. He wanted to let us know.
Don't think of it as, when you hear it as an anime, don't think of it like that. Just think of it as a brilliant TV show. Like, it's like 4, so basically 5 seasons. It's brilliant, it's dramatic, it's heartfelt, it's super emotional. Like, just give it a try. Just give it a try. And if you're not hooked by watching just the first episode, all you need is the first episode. Like, and that'll be it, and you'll be in there for good. But I just wanted to say
good first episode.
It really is. Like,
world.
There's some brilliant episodes in there, and it's why some of their episodes are like the highest rated on Rotten Tomatoes, like up there with like that particular Breaking Bad episode. And I think there's a season.
Wait, which Breaking Bad episode?
I can't remember which one specifically, but there's 2 Attack on Titan season 3 episodes. I think one of them's the finale or the episode before, and there was another one, and they're like right up there, like 97%. Or whatever.
Oh wow!
And I think Breaking Bad's number 1, whatever episode that is, and that's at the top. Speaking of which, I'm actually watching Better Call Saul at the minute, which I'm enjoying. Yes, that's good.
I'm on the final season, but I was just waiting for it to come to Netflix once it's done, which it is now done. So I just gotta wait a few months. But
what, Better Call Saul? I thought it was always on Netflix.
It is, but the newest season is not yet because it just premiered on AMC. Like a little bit ago. So they just finished it.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a Netflix original, isn't it?
No, it's not.
What? Better Call Saul?
Yeah, it's on AMC.
I swear, I thought it was a Netflix original. I swear
Nah, I wish it was.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to say, because I swear at the start it says a Netflix original show, like at the start of every episode.
I'm 98% sure that is not the case.
Okay, right, I'm just going to Google it just before we finish. Is Better Call Saul...
I watched it on my TV and had to watch so many commercials. Is Better Call Saul a
Netflix original? Whilst the series isn't a Netflix original, the streaming giant introduced it to a much wider audience. It literally says it at the start of the show. I swear. Maybe it just says a Netflix series or something. I don't know. In any case, we need to move on to the finale of the pod, which is, of course, guys, is Vibe Versus. We keep it up even during our I forget what we've even called this now. The Vibin Out. Vibing Out, whatever that was. Vibing Out, yeah. We still do our Vibe Versus, even though we're, vibing out.
We're vibing out.
I'll let you just, bring it in.
Vibe Versus. Yeah, I'll bring it in. What an interesting Vibe Versus this one was. You'll want to watch it, and trust me, it won't take long for you to watch.
Blink and you'll miss it.
We played Binding of Isaac, which, first off, I wasn't confident about, because Jax hasn't played in a while, but is very good at it. And I know barely anything. But essentially, it's just a dungeon crawling thing.
Like Cult of the Lamb.
Like Cult of the Lamb, yeah. And our rule was, okay, if you beat the boss first, then you win, right? Jax went into his second or first room.
No, it was... I went into the fourth room, and then it was the boss room. But I just went through it real quick. Like, I was right out of the gate.
I wasn't even thinking about that at all. So, Jax found the boss very early, and
but you died as well. So, because I was going to say, well, let's continue a few floors down because we basically done it in like under a minute. But you died, so I was like, well, I guess it is kind of over, to be fair. You died.
I was going to take
How did you die, anyway?
I don't know. I was fly. It wasn't like a glorious death or anything like that. It wasn't like, oh my god, I was surrounded by everything. It was more like I was thrown in the game and forgot how to play, and Bly killed me.
Wow, okay. That says it all. It's now 4-2 to me. I'm on a 4 challenge Vibe Versus winning streak here. This is a serious comeback from my early mistakes of the first two.
Yes, you have a great comeback. Can I tell everyone right now what I'm going to make you play next time for recording for our Vibe Versus?
Yeah, all right, let's do it. Right, what? Do you know I've got it, or is it a free game? Or
we are going to play Multiverses next time we record,
my God.
And I'm going to slap you around. We're gonna do a versus of Multiverses, and I'm gonna slap Jax around. I'm gonna get a point.
I'm gonna
have to. It's gonna be worth it.
Man, that means I have to download this stupid Smash Bros knockoff. Oh my
God. It's not a knockoff. Okay. If we had more time, I would go into my newfound love of Multiverses. We'll talk about that next time. I will have much more insight next time anyway. But thank you for listening to our podcast, guys. If you enjoyed it, feel free to leave us a review on Spotify or whatever lovely platform you're listening to us on. And let us know if there's any topics or anything that you want us to cover.
Yeah, let us know what you think of the Vibing Out, the less sort of focused on one specific topic and us just sort of chatting about things here and there and news and just what we're interested in. Let us know what you think about this format because we're still experimenting with the pod.
Yeah, we're still fleshing out a lot of stuff of the pod, if you may or not notice, but it's going well. I think it's going well, Jax.
Well, I mean, I'm having fun. I sacrificed a nap for this. That's how much I care.
Yeah, a nap. That's huge.
It is when you don't sleep during the night. Let me tell you.
It is. It is. No, I am not making fun of you. I 100% feel your pain. But thank you guys, and we'll see you next time on Video Game Vibes.
Thank you guys so much, and yeah, we'll see you next time.